Welcome everyone to this evening's webinar. My name is William Harmon, Head of Coach Development, joined by my colleague Emily Martin. Emily, would you like to say hello?
Hi everyone, I'm Emily, National Development Officer for Coach Education.
Good stuff. So welcome all to our webinar this evening. It's, I suppose, different to the other topics we've been doing over the last number of months. And this is specifically looking at the LGFA Player Development Program, also known as the PDP. I suppose what we're going to try and do is give you an overview of what the program is about, get you a better understanding of what we're trying to achieve. And maybe there's people on here tonight that might like to get involved, and we'll give you a bit of signposting towards that as well. This webinar is recorded, and all our webinars, all our coach education webinars are available to view tomorrow on our LGFA YouTube channel. So all our webinars are recorded. And if you want to look back in these over the coming weeks, they're there for you to view in your own time. Okay, so what do we try to achieve from this webinar? By the end of this webinar, we're hoping that you'll be able to identify, well, what is the role of the PDP, I suppose? Well, what is the PDP, first of all, the Player Development Program? But what is the role of the PDP in not only player development, but also coach development? And I suppose recognize, well, what are the key ingredients to make it happen, or to make it be successful in a county, within a county? So that's what we're trying to achieve. And I know there's probably a few people on here tonight might be aware of what the Player Development Program is. So hopefully by the end of tonight, you get more clarity around that as well. So I suppose before we always start in anything that we do, we always like to know why. Well, if we're doing a program or initiative, we need to know the why we're doing it. And then I suppose the important thing is, well, what's its impact? So the program is about 3 years, I suppose, up and running, but it was developed for a reason. So we'll give you a bit of a context around that before we move on to essentially what it is. If you have any questions or queries throughout the night, please, guys, just put into the chat function and we'll answer them as we go along. So you're probably all aware of the Gaelic Games player pathway. And essentially what that is whereby how can we give every player an opportunity to, I suppose, participate in our games. Essentially, that's what we're about. Everybody involved in Gaelic Games, how can we give players an opportunity to participate, irrespective of their ability level, I suppose, where they are in their journey. I suppose for us as coaches, we need to be very much aware of what stage of development those players are at, and can we provide the appropriate level of training. So for that to happen, we're very much guided by the Gaelic Games coach pathway, which is all about creating those good coaching support resources, environments to allow every player an opportunity to get involved in our sport. So that's why the Player Development Program, that probably ties in nicely to what we're trying to do here. So we're very much guided by our pathways, the player pathway and the Gaelic Games coach pathway. And if you're not aware of these pathways, please, guys, just go on to www.lgfa.ie or ladiesgaelic.ie, and there's more information there, or on the Tubber e-learning website. There's loads of information around these pathways. So essentially, when we're developing players, everyone, there's 4 key competencies. Technical, which is their skills, catching, kicking, picking up the ball. Tactical, awareness of space, maybe, working as a team. Physical is running, jumping, landing, twisting, turning. Strength, power, speed. And then the psychosocial in terms of, okay, how do we connect people with each other, and how do we, the coach-athlete relationship. But also, I suppose, the other areas around lifestyle, personal elements as well. So what is the role as us as coaches to help develop all these skills? And how do we come up with an environment that allows both to happen in parallel? And I suppose, Emily, that's what we're trying to achieve here in relation to that. So essentially, we're all about long-term development. It's not about today. It's about 4, 5, 6 years' time. It's about developing players for the future, in particular that teenage cohort, that 13 to 17 age group that we know where the dropout rate is very high. So we're aiming to get players to develop a love for the game so that they sustain a love for the game in 4 or 5 years' time. And they're still playing the game, and that they're still playing the game in our clubs. And that's our forefront to our thought process. So if we get more players, better players, then we need to aim to get more coaches, better coaches. And I suppose that's what we're trying to achieve here as well, is that coach education element, the importance of a positive coaching environment. So I'm just trying to give you a bit of context around, well, where we're getting to with this player development program, what it's about. But I think it's important, Emily, just to give a small bit of context around, I suppose, that research, or shall I say, the pathways guiding us in what we're doing. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's no point in putting out the PDP if we have nothing to back it up with. So it's really, really important as to why we have that research. And it shows then if anyone has any questions on it, we can always refer back to the research. It's not just because we want to do it or we think it's right, it's because it's clear there that it's needed.
So everyone, even if you're involved in your clubs, involved in player development program, or any other environments, coaching environments, the next few slides will be very interesting to you. So also it's important to listen to your, I suppose, audience. It's very important in anything that we do. So we've loads of research. Obviously, there's loads of research around teenage girls, in particular, female sport, in all sports. And we've done our own research as well. And here's just a sample of the research we've done from an LGFA context around, well, what's our audience saying? And is what we're providing matching that? I'm not saying we get it right all the time. And yeah, maybe at times we can question what we're providing. Is it in line with what we're trying to achieve? But we're doing our best to probably get there. So we'll just give you a flavor of what's coming back from this research and what I suppose informs our thinking. So up to 2024, the research that we got from our previous research, I suppose, angles was, well, why do girls play and stay involved in our game? And it's very clear to see they want to enjoy themselves. They want them to enjoy fun. Now that's all cartwheels, and that is fun being challenged. That's fun doing a tough training session. That's fun being with their friends. That's fun when wearing the gear. They're with their friends. They're getting to meet new people, and more importantly, they want to improve and develop. So every player we come across, whether it be a club or the player development program or any coaching environment, it's vitally important that they're improving, they're developing, they're getting better. And how do we prove that? And I suppose the big thing around this as well, that winning wasn't higher in their priority. We're not saying winning is not important. We're not saying that it's something that to ignore. It's part of development in actual fact. But I suppose the bigger picture, we understand the bigger picture around, well, why are the girls coming in the gate to us? But the big thing around it was the coaching environment and the role you play as a coach, or the role we play as coaches in that coaching environment. And the important that, in whether a girl wants to stay involved or move away from our sport. So we play a huge role in that in terms of keeping things fun and interesting, fair, encouraging, and understanding the player. I think once you know why people come in the gate, I think you can apply the appropriate practice and approach. But look at the research last year. So we're going, geez, has it changed? It would be very interesting to see has it changed. And I suppose the research is saying nothing different. And I'm probably thinking that if we did research in 10, 15 years' time, the research will probably say the same thing again. So it's vitally important that we think and listen to what players are saying to us. Again, the big one out there, and this is up to over 350 people that responded to this, and 129 were saying playing, love for the love of the game, and for fun. Very close set was mental health and improve my confidence, meet new people. And actually, a lot of research around sport at the moment is highlighting the importance of sporting from a healthy perspective. So making people feel good about themselves. That they're coming to an environment that they're enjoying, that they're not improving, developing, that they're meeting new people. So it's just interesting to see that, I suppose, Emily, that we've done research over the last number of years, but we did one recently and it's still saying the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure everyone knows their players and everything that they actually enjoy when you do have a bit of fun. So it'd be great to be able to incorporate that in, and it's amazing to see just all the options there. And it'd be really interesting if coaches could take all that on board and then use it within their sessions to build in on the four pillars that they also work on.
Exactly. Guys, coaching is about, there's the how and the what. The what is knowing your stuff. The how is the personal touch. And the how is about the coaching skills. So how we engage and interact with people is first and foremost. Your personality is first and foremost. Connect, engage. And if you do that really well, then I think we'll meet a lot of these that's being highlighted in front of us. And I suppose that's just been a key focus of the player development program as well in what we're trying to achieve. The what is stuff we can learn. The drills, the activities, the game. Then we looked at, well, why did they drop out? And I suppose you've probably seen this before in other webinars and stuff. But again, it's just a lack of enjoyment, that they're not enjoying it, or too competitive, or social comparisons, or lack of opportunity, or the commitments. They're all there. We know why girls are dropping out of our sport. But again, look at the role of the coaching environment and the role we as coaches play in, again, that if we're poor, that we take over, that we're dominating and telling and instructing all the time, and maybe we're using abusive comments as a coach, which is less, hopefully, but it's still coming back in our research. just shows the important role of that coaching environment. So all the time we're thinking of this, we have to listen. Well, how do we devise something that can we marry both in parallel? Player development, coach development. Is there something there that we can develop that will to probably tick these two boxes? And we think we've struck a chord with the player development program. So again, let's see what they're saying last year. So we're going, okay, are they saying anything different? They're not. The big thing is why a lot of girls are leaving our sports because lack of confidence, too much emphasis on winning. Their friends don't play anymore. But look at the coach again. The coach is high up. The coach is poor. Play other sports, other commitments. And that's reality. So again, the research is saying nothing different. So we're thinking, okay, well, how can we devise something that will allow coaches to be the best they can be in an environment where they're heading to improve and develop players? And how can we match this all up? And I suppose, Emily, that was a challenge around it. But it's something I think we all need to probably take on board that, we need to understand our audience a bit more.
100%. I think this is probably one of the most important slides, maybe for a coach if they want to take something away from it this evening. Have a look at that and see why girls don't want to play football anymore, and what can you do as a coach when you go back out to your training session? How can you change that, and hopefully you retain more players? There's your answers there as to what you need to try and not do.
And sometimes we always focus on the outcome. What are we training for? And if the for doesn't happen, which is the outcome, which is probably win a game, only one team can win a league, whatever it may be, then sometimes we lose sight of what's important. So we're thinking, how could we create an environment where coaches don't feel under pressure? That they can be in a nice environment where there's no hidden agendas, they can be themselves, they can develop themselves as coaches, but also develop players and I suppose develop that love for the game and keep them involved. So this is what's our thinking all the time. We're not saying we get it always right, but this is what gets us going in our minds. So again, well, what would help you stay involved? And look at it there, the coach and the coaching team. You, us, as leaders, as coaches, they're telling us they want us to be better. They're telling us they want more regular football, more opportunities. They want to play. They just want to play. And their friends stay involved. They're the top three again. So again, just interesting. It's just nice to show you because it's important to show the context around our thought process because we feel all this stuff really helps us in what we're doing. So hence the introduction of the LGFA Player Development Program. In the chat function, guys, you don't mind me saying, have you heard of the program before? Have you been involved in the program? Or is it something that you've never heard of before? In the chat function, I'd love for you just to share, where you're at. Be interested to know where everybody's at here tonight. So are you aware of what is the Player Development Program? If I ask you straight out, a Y for yes, an N for no, or maybe, you know what, you've probably heard of it. In the chat function, please, guys. Okay, thanks, Joanne. Good stuff. So I suppose, Emily, we have a mixture of people on tonight, really, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. And it's great to see that we do have so many on. And it's great to see that people have heard of it and haven't been involved. So it might be a good option for now people to maybe get involved.
Yeah,
So
so a
that's
lot,
exciting that they have, yeah.
yeah, great. And if tonight we want to get out there to the wider audience because, if you have heard of it, and then is what we're saying relating to what you've heard. That's important. If you haven't heard of it, but you like what's going on, then can we signpost you to get involved? And if you have heard of it, but you're not too sure what it's about, then hopefully we can answer all those questions over the next few slides. And hopefully we'll enthuse you and motivate you to go and find out more about it. Yeah. So up to now, everyone, we would have been working directly with your coach, the county development officers, the county development committees, with county boards essentially. So we would be being very much directly with the county boards on this program. This is the first time we're probably going more publicly about it to probably spread the word of what is we're trying to achieve here. And we'd love to get your thoughts on it. Or would you agree or disagree with it? Here's your look. Ladies football always like to be brave and try new things in it. So I suppose, what is it? Is the probably question you're all asking. So you're probably all aware in ladies football, look, I'm not saying whether we agree or disagree, but we have an inter-county setup whereby it starts on the 14. On the 14, 16, minor adults. So we have that inter-county setup. Okay, so basically what happens is girls come, they go for trials, the top 30 girls are selected, They train for an outcome. So they train for an outcome. That could be to win the first round of a Munster Championship. That could be to win the first round of a Leinster Championship. That could be to win a provincial title. That could be to win an All Ireland title. So it's very much, selection, deselection. You come in, you do your trials. The top 30 girls are selected, and they are trained over a number of weeks or months to achieve an outcome. Now, we could have a debate about whether there should be inter-county under 14. We could have a debate about that, and I could give my opinion. But look, that's where it's at the moment. Okay, but the player development program is on the other side. So it's open invitation. If a girl in a club wants to go to another environment to meet new coaches, to meet new people, and want to improve and develop, then the player development program is for you. There's no selection or deselection. No one's going to tell you you're not good enough at 13 years ago. Come away, yeah, come involve. It's maximum 12 sessions, and I'll go through that shortly with you. And it complements the club activities. So it doesn't. The club the club are important. The club activities are important. They're priority. This works around it, and it's over a set period of time. And what we do have is, remember we spoke about the research saying they want to play games and stuff. So we have festival days where we bring girls into central locations and they play football. No one's told stay at home. They're all come and we play, and we might play different game formats: 7-a-side, 11-a-side, 15-a-side, but they're all playing football. So if you have 100 girls, they all come. If you have 400 girls, they all come. We don't care. We'll do our best. Even though it's a challenge for us in an organizational side of view to organize these festival days, we feel there's massive value around it. So the player development program only works on the under 13, the 15 and 17. And they're the only, I suppose, initiative sanctioned by Central Council on those age groups. So the under 14, 16, minor, adult, the inter-county is selection, deselection, top 30 girls. They train for an outcome, which is to win a game or to win a championship or to go to an All-Ireland, whatever it may be. Whereby the player development program is solely players come to improve and develop, and that's it. But also there's a coaching element, which we'll speak about in a minute, because the coaching environment is vitally important in the success of this. So if you'd like to get involved, guys, you could play a key role in helping your county achieve their goal. Have I had everything there, Emily? And I go through more. I just want to show the visual first.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I think it's a nice visual there also, just so people can realise maybe the difference between the inter-county setup and the PDP.
So this is not an inter-county setup. It's, yes, an initiative program organised by the county board, but it's not an inter-county setup. You're not an inter-county coach as well, just to let you know that. You're getting involved in the environment from a coaching perspective to improve and develop. Okay? And there's no hidden agenda, which I'll share in a few minutes. So what is it not? Okay? There's no trials. There's no selection or deselection. You can adopt a regional approach. What I mean by that is, I'm in Kerry. There might be our Kerry region, South Kerry region, whereby it gives girls an opportunity to go to a venue that's more close to where they are at. Okay? So if a girl wants to come in and improve and develop, it's open for you. It's non-competitive. The reason why we took the non-competitive is non-competitive because we want to take all the distractions away from what we're trying to achieve. Because sometimes when you bring in competitiveness, we lose sight of what we're trying to achieve. So if you want to improve and develop as a coach, then let's put you in an environment that allows you to do that and not be worried about being judged about winning or losing games. We're just there to help players improve and develop and give you that opportunity and environment to create that as well. And the festivals are really enjoyable days. As I said, it's more than just the game. It's a festival day. There's more stuff going on. And it's a set period. You start after the 1st of February, you finish during the 1st of October. But you only are allowed 12 sessions. So it's not taxing on your involvement. 12 sessions that's 12 hours over X amount of months, job done. And I think it's a nice way to complement what you're doing in your clubs as well. LGFA Central Council ruling was the Titles Academy and Development Squads no longer exist in ladies football. And we're still possibly working with counties with the terminology and the language that, guys, we don't have academies anymore. We don't have development squads anymore. You're either with an inter-county setup, which is under 14, 16 or minor, or you're with a player development program at under 13, 15, 17. So we want the activity to reflect its purpose. So if the outcome is to win a championship or to win an All-Ireland or provincial, that's your inter-county. If your outcome is to improve and develop players, that's your player development program. So there's no alternative activities allowed at under 13, 15, 17 outside the PDP. So think about your own county. Think about where your county is at. But we are, Emily, at the moment, still working with counties around the terminology, and because we don't want people to get confused of what we're trying to do here. The player development program is all about development. Inter-county is inter-county, and that's okay. Whatever space you're in, that's okay. But we just want to make sure that there is a distinct difference between the different spaces.
Yep, 100%. And that's really important. If you do see your county saying academy or development squad, that you do maybe pick up on it and just let them know, maybe point it out to them. It's one of the massive things that we're trying to work on at the moment.
Exactly. Ask the question. So we're aiming at the long-term development of 13 to 17-year-olds. So how can we provide something else that will enthuse and serve and support players to be the best they can be? So we said, let's bring in the player development program. So players experience positive coaching experience that they guide, develop, improve. So they sustain a love for the game. And we're trying to remove those competing interests, as I said. No selection, deselection. It's all about coaching. And coaching is about continually improving. Where training is about you're trying to get to a specific outcome. So coaching, training, two different out. You're there for a reason. There's a certain theme. You're working on something that's very specific. There's no other stuff impinging on that, and it really helps you to develop as a coach as well. So not only is it player development, it's also a coach development, which is great. So what is the PDP and what are our values? What do we believe in? What we're about? It's inclusive. It's open to all players. Players exposed to different coaching environments. They need to improve and develop, and it's about coach development. It's about you being challenged in an environment, an enjoyable, positive coaching environment as well, because you're going to come across girls of various ability levels from different clubs as well. So it's helping you to improve and develop as a coach as well. So if you're looking to get involved, guys, hopefully we're selling it to you. So what is it not? It's not training for something down the road. It's focused on better players or not better players or coachable players. It's about developing everyone. And it's not only about the player. And I suppose, Emily, we're trying to sell that message of it's about the coaching environment, because if we get more coaches, better coaches, we'll have more players, better players. If we have more coaches, better coaches at player development program, they're also going to improve and develop their clubs as well.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, it is called the PDP, but it's a coach education based initiative. So we're giving back to the coaches to obviously help them improve as well.
So we're clear on our purpose. So what's a player development program? We're very clear. Player development, improving and developing players. It's inclusive. It's open to all players of all various ability levels. Our values are, as I said, inclusive, positive, open environment. And then our approach is going to be more consistent. And this is what we're trying to get to everyone. How do we create a climate across the country that every county is consistent in their approach? So we feel once there's clarity in purpose and value, then their approach will be more consistent. Because we feel that if there's any uncertainty, then there's going to be an inconsistent approach and behavior to how we roll out the program, which leads to personal relationships and I suppose chaotic coaching conditions. So everyone here, we want to get clarity around what is the player development program. Hence why we're doing a public webinar. So when you hear these terms or this program being mentioned in your county, you're more aware of it, but also if it's not in line with what we're trying to achieve, you maybe be able to ask the questions around it as well. So the benefits are far-reaching, everyone. For players, as we said, for coaches, as we said, in terms of it improves their communication strategies, becomes more a reflective coach, it improves your knowledge as a coach as well, but also for clubs, because it's a short program. You're going to improve and develop players that they're going to be better for their clubs. You're also developing yourself as coach. So now you can bring your experience and your knowledge back to your clubs to learn and develop. And you're now meeting other coaches from like-minded clubs. And then obviously that'll all help with developing the county as well. It can only do that because a real positive coaching environment or player development program run by the county board can only develop relationships with clubs and coaches and players in their county. So if it's done really well, it can be far-reaching in its, I suppose, outcome. And I suppose, Emily, it's just important that it all interlinks, really, doesn't it?
Yes, 100%. I think it's clear there that you're not just getting the benefit for one aspect, you're getting it all across the board.
So everyone, if you're interested in getting involved in the player development program, or maybe not for you this year, but maybe next year, or maybe you'd like to like more about it, if you to get involved, for coaches to really develop and improve, even get involved in clubs or anything new, support and guidance is important. So if you get involved in the player development program, we have webinars, coach education webinars, specific to the player development program to help you to be the best you can be. We have a PDP portal that has all the coaching materials, skills challenges, webinar slide decks, videos, coaching booklets. Everything is there to guide the county, the development committee, and also the coaches in producing a really positive player development program. We meet you in person. So we meet you in person to help you become and improve. Think about this, you're in an environment where you want to improve and develop as a coach as well. Here's a nice initiative that's helping you develop and improve. So we have the webinars, we have in-person coaching days where we meet you in person and we go through, I suppose, key themes around coach development. We upskill new referees. So it's a nice environment to introduce new referees to our game. But also remember what the research said about it's important to play games as well. So we have festival days at provincial and national level across the 3 age cohorts, across, I suppose, different game formats. But it's a festival day. It's not just about the football. Remember what the research says. We want to have fun and enjoy it. We want to meet new people. We want to improve and develop. So therefore, the festival days need to probably reflect that as well. So while it's challenging in an organizational sense, it's very rewarding in what we see on the day. I suppose, Emily, it's just nice to show people if they do get involved, the support that's there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's throughout the whole program. It's not just one off or anything. So, and we're always there if you ever need anything. But that PDP portal is really important. It's got loads on it, and loads of ideas and everything. So
Loads of
it's
ideas.
great.
Exactly. Try out new things. You can be brave. Go on, try something out. Because as I said, there's no one from the outside looking in at you, judging you. Okay, so to show you how our player supports, that's how you're supported. So if a player is involved in it, and this is important, research shows that programs should be that are run in short, concise manner, have high quality, have the maximum impact. So we're saying counties only do 12 sessions. Now, a county could start in March and finish in October, and they do their 12 sessions over that period of time. Some counties might do it, one every week for 3 months, and that's their PDP done. Again, it's all reflective of the coaching program and reflective of where the club is at. So they always look at the dates for the provincial dates, and some counties work back from that. So there's only 12 contact sessions. So if you're interested, get on to your development officer, get on to your development committee in your county, and ask about the player development program, and ask to be involved, because you're only asking for really 12 hours contact sessions. Obviously, there's a lot of planning and preparation involved in that, but that's what it looks like. And every county is different. We also allow counties to organise county festival days. So they can invite another county down to them and they can play festival days with it, and they're given guidance and support around that. So it's 12 sessions maximum. How that looks like in your county is up to you. You could have 9 coaching sessions and 3 festival days. You could have 11 coaching sessions and 1 festival day. And it's just very important that there's guidance. And that's very, I suppose, we do give guidance around what's required and because we want to make sure that it's in line and consistent approach. So again, the best time of the year, your county could have started this. So they might have started already. So get on to the development officer and development committee in your county, mail them tomorrow and ask them about the player development program. Ask them about, well, what's the plans? When do you hope to start? Has it started? How do you get involved? So it needs to, again, not interfere with club setup. And that's the important thing about this. That it doesn't interfere. It's not an inter-county setup. Okay, girls are not thinking they're in an inter-county team. They're not. They're just in another environment just to improve and develop. We always say that if you want to be participating in a festival day, you need to have started at least 6 weeks in advance, or have 3 sessions. We don't want, I suppose, counties turning up to this our festival days and they've nothing done. It doesn't. I suppose you don't get maximum impact of that. So we're saying you need to start 6 weeks in advance, 3 sessions at least before your festival days, and all the dates for the festival days are provided. They're all there. They're all on the portal. But I suppose what we're trying to do is planning is important in this. Very important. But for this to really work well, we need more coaches. We need more good people wanting to get involved with no hidden agenda. Don't be coming on the player development program and thinking, okay, this is going to get me somewhere else. No, just come on the player development program to improve and develop as a coach and see what happens after that. So as I said, guys, there's a certain time frame. All the dates are supplied well in advance to allow counties to plan well in advance as well. And we do ask counties to sign up to a pledge because it's vitally important that there's minimum numbers at each of the webinars, the in-person days, to ensure there's a consistency in approach from the counties. Are we there yet? Maybe not. We hope that even tonight we're selling the message around what we're trying to achieve might help with that. I think that's a big thing for us, really, Emily, is that the counties are aware of what's expected of them to ensure they achieve a good program.
Yes, 100%. And that's what the pledge is for. So we keep everyone right and everyone knows. Yeah, really important.
So as you see here, guys, every county has a minimum of X amount of people at the webinars, the in-person days, any online information sessions, in terms of referee opportunities. And there's certain criteria around when should they start, in particular around before festival days. Again, just a bit of guidance and support. So when the counties are planning their player development program, they're very clear on what's expected of them, what's involved, and everybody knows, what's expected of me to be involved as well. And I think once there's clarity around that, therefore then we have really high quality programs. So who's involved, everyone? The county board executive. So it's led by a county board, in particular the development side of things, the development committee. Okay, so it is a county initiative, but it's not an inter-county setup. For it to work really well, they need coordinators, people leading the under 13, 15, 17. So there might be people on here tonight that maybe coaching is not for you, but you're a really good organizer. You might be a really good person that, very good at planning, very good at logistics, very good at, getting people singing off the same hymn sheet. So if you're that person, then come along to the player development program. We need more coaches. The more coaches you have, the more players we can cater for. And that's the key around it. So counties are very much dependent on the number of coaches they have. So if you've heard about it or you haven't heard about it, share the news with your fellow colleagues in your clubs. Let them know about the player development program. And if they're interested, link in with your development committee. Obviously, you need support from clubs. And we don't want a situation where it's a them and us. It can all work together. There's no hidden agenda here, guys. It's there to improve everyone, players, coaches, clubs. If it's worked really well, I think you can improve the standard of your coaching and your players across the board in your counties. Obviously, you need players, but players are determined on the number of coaches you have. You can't have 100 players and 2 coaches. Just doesn't work out. We need at least X amount of coaches to cater for as many players as we can. And then obviously you have the parents who are supporting the players in the background because they're bringing them to every session. But they need to be aware of, well, what is my daughter involved in? Once they're clear, they'll support us as well. So it's amazing how everybody needs to be. That's why we're doing the webinar tonight. We want everybody to be aware of what is the player development program. Again, it just takes out that misunderstanding of what it is, and therefore let's get a more consistent approach. So there's a lot of people involved, but Emily, there might be people here listening in tonight, but might like what we're talking about and might want to get involved.
100%. And if you see that you think, oh, yeah, I can put my name down for that, it mightn't as well say necessarily be a coach, but you could be a coordinator. Absolutely, get in touch with your development committee or your county board. It's also really important to highlight how important communication will be because you've got so many key stakeholders there that you're working with. So communication is key and making sure we get that same message out to everyone and everyone knows what the message is.
Exactly. And everyone, if you wanted that contact for your county, email myself and Emily tomorrow. We'll share it with you. No problem at all. Emily loves emails. I think, Emily, you love getting emails. So
I love them.
yeah. Okay, so to make it work, it's like anything in general, good planning, good organization. But I think for that to happen, we need clarity. This is why we're doing the public webinar tonight. The more people that are aware of what we're trying to do, the better it is we feel. So good planning, good organization will lead to the right people involved. Once you get the right people involved for the right reasons, then you're going to have quality sessions. When you have quality sessions, you're going to have a positive environment and the players will then develop and improve as a result. So it all interlinks. We need good people, good planning, quality sessions, and then the player, which is the center of our focus, is get the maximum benefit out of it. And if Mary leaves the player development program, even with a bit more confidence in herself, do you know what? She's developed her skills to a higher level for herself. And she's going away wanting more and wanting to stay involved in the game. We've achieved an awful lot. And that's our focus at all times. Why do we do what we do? Once we're clear on that, we're okay. So again, look, just gives you an idea of what the structure could look like. Again, it's a county board initiative. Okay. The development committee are the lead, play a real key role in the development of it. You have your coordinators. You may have regional coordinators. That's if your county is running on a regional basis. Some counties might run it in one venue. Then you have the coaches that are driving that environment. And for it to really, really work, we need coaches, more coaches, because that coach player ratio is very important. 1-8 is an ideal scenario in developing players. 1-8 is fantastic. But we need coaches. We need more female coaches. We need more female personnel involved as well, because it's a female initiative as well. And we have female players involved. So ideally, parents are not the main coaches, but of course they can play a supporting role. So everybody can play a role once they're clear what they're getting involved in. And that's important. So they can play a supportive role. They can help with attendance. They might help at stations. There might be an assistant coach. But once the lead coach is aware of what they're trying to achieve, that's vitally important. So it just gives you an idea of what the possible structure looks like and where those layers come in. So everyone, lads, the county board is there to commit and support. So we work very closely currently with the county board and the development officer and committees. That's what we've been working at in the background, because they play a key role in the implementation of the player development program. So the county board commits to the program and they support it. The county board development officer and committee serve and support the people to deliver it, the coordinators and the coaches. You have a coordinator who's supporting and guiding the coaches. You have coaches who are guiding and choosing the players. That's essentially what it looks like. But it won't work unless the other thing is in tandem. So the county board, the development committee, the coordinators, the coaches, the players, the parents, everybody needs to be on the same hymn sheet. And what we're seeing at the moment is maybe not everybody is at the same hymn sheet. Hence why there's probably a small bit of a misunderstanding of what we're trying to do here. The player development program has a clear focus: player development, coach development. It's over a certain period of time. Back to your clubs, doesn't impinge on it, move on. And that's really what we're trying to say. So if you're interested, everyone, every county could have a different process in terms of selecting their coaches, but it needs to be a transparent process. If you'd ask, well, how would you select your coaches? So if you ask that question, every county may be different in how they go about it, but every club should be informed of it. Every club in Ireland should know about the player development program, and they should support it because it doesn't impinge on club activity. It's not taking the girls away from the club, because that's not what it's about. It's over 12 sessions over X amount of months. It might be one session a month. It might be 2 sessions a month. It might be 1 session every, whatever it may be. So once clubs, that's what we're doing tonight. Once clubs are aware of why we're doing what we're doing, then I think we have a key role here. And maybe clubs might encourage their coaches, go to that. Yeah, that'll really help and improve and develop you. Okay? Yeah, go. We encourage you to do and get involved in this. So, or maybe counties might go direct to people, and sometimes they might go direct to people for those head coaches, those lead coaches, to support the other coaches. There may be an open application process. I know some counties, they open up to all club coaches who'd like to get involved and have an opportunity to develop and improve. And that could be done through your email or your phone or social media. But there is a certain criteria that needs to, because you need to be safeguarded. You need to have your guard vetting. You might have to have coaching qualification. You need to be a member of a club. So there is a certain criteria that you need to have to get involved. That's just safeguarding everybody. That's safeguarding yourself. That's safeguarding the county in relation to this as well. So there is criteria that needs to be met. But if you meet that criteria and you'd like to get involved, then the door is always open. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's the county development committees that decide who gets involved and who doesn't get involved. We'd like to think that everybody gets a fair and open opportunity. I suppose that's key, really, in Timley.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'd be important that if you want to get involved and you haven't seen anything up, or you haven't received an email from your club or your county, that you get in touch with them maybe and just ask the questions.
So here's a video to show you all that we spoke about in a short video. So this is the Cork Player Development Program, and this is the under 13 one. We went down to visit it there, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, and they had 120 players. This is one region. It was one region. I think it was West Cork. I think it was West Cork, Mid Cork, and it was one region. They had 120 players. They had I don't know how many coaches on the day. It was unbelievable. Let's show you. Just listen. I'm going to unshare it and start again, because I never shared with sound, and I always forget that. So here we go. So listening to this, guys, it's kind of, just, I suppose, wraps up the whole thing.
garden, would you say? But I feel way more confident and I grew more comfortable.
Sorry, I pressed mute. So
With the girls, and I think I started to play football more naturally as well, and you can see all the other girls did too. Skills develop massively. You'd always learn something in every different drill, a different perspective, so you'd learn something else. Everyone develops together, everyone plays together. We really gelled as a team, I think, over the 12 weeks. Everyone's included.
You can run the player development programme with as many numbers as you have in the county. That's why we leave it open to all of the clubs here. Last year we had huge buy-in. The numbers this year have increased. We had over 900 players signed up across the 3 age groups, under 13, under 15 and under 17, and they were supported by over 80 coaches. We got feedback from the players, what they wanted to do. Planning is huge, but once the planning is done, the programme actually runs itself. In that 12 weeks, they get to go through skills tests, they get to go through internal blitzes, they get to socialise. So no matter if you're a helper, parent, a coach, assistant coach, coordinator, everyone had a role here today. That's the key to the session running smoothly.
I was so passionate about it and wanted to get involved. It was a programme for a player of all abilities. It was an inclusive programme. I think as a coach as well, you're always learning something new. Every coach brings something different to the table, a different skill set, a different drill. Without the coaches' involvement and help, we just couldn't have development. We got our coaches within all our divisions, in the 4 divisions, to participate in 2 coaching days, that what development we were doing within our division was the same within the 4 divisions. And if we become better coaches, our players become better players. I mean, that's the greatest satisfaction you can get.
It's a circle of improvement, really. Like, there is a development for everyone. Where I'm from is 26 clubs. That's like a small county in essence itself. Once you get the right people, encouragement, and get the buy-in from the clubs, it is very, very possible. But it wasn't just all about skills. There's a lot of other life skills that they learn as well. Once clubs buy into it, then you have players being developed that are going back to their clubs and improving. Coaches that are volunteering with new skills also.
We definitely buy into it and we assist in any way possible. It's developing players who just want to develop their skills, to meet other people, to develop their social skills as well as everything else. We have coaches out there, they're travelling in distances. They prepare in advance, and that's the success of it. It's not just turning up in the morning saying, what do we do today? Get a very good development officer who really buys into it, and then have your executive to support that officer.
okay, everyone. That just gives you kind of a, I suppose, everything we spoke about just in a video to show the impact it can have in your region or in your county. So in essence, everyone, it's all about people. You know, if you'd love to get involved or if you are involved, it's about people. Good people with the right intentions can have a huge impact. All have a common goal. You heard in the video, we're all here, that all regions are doing the same thing across all 4 regions. So a common goal, we want to develop all our players, we want to develop as coaches. Planning is key. Good planning leads to a successful program. Prepare. We have all the resources there, guys. They're all there to support counties and coordinators and coaches. They're a guide to the sport to be the best it can be. Deliver high quality programs, regular communication between ourselves and counties with their development committees and development committees with the clubs. And then vitally important to reflect at the end. Well, what went well? What can we improve on? And next year, what can we do differently? So next step for you, it depends on your perspective and where you're coming from. You might be a club officer, you might be a coach, you might be a player, you might be a parent, you might be an administrator. But all we wanted to do tonight was to, I suppose, share with you, well, what are we trying to achieve through the LGFA Player Development Program? So when you hear this term again, you have a better understanding of what it is. To find out more, contact your development officer, contact a member of your development committee in your county. Ask, well, how can I get involved in this? If you are involved, I hope what we've outlined tonight is in line with what you're doing in your counties. But Emily, before we go, guys, in the chat function, what did you take from tonight? What did you learn from tonight? Please, in the chat function, please share. But Emily, what would be the key point for you that you'd like to share?
It'd probably be just the difference between the PDP and inter-county setup and how we don't want to use the likes of academies and development squads. So it's really getting that ethos of what we were trying to do through the PDP. and how there is an opportunity for anyone to have a go through the PDP, whether that be a player or a coach, and if you want to improve both that. So it is open to all, and it is a great initiative that to be a part of.
So yeah, so basically the PDP is a separate entity to intercounty. But yes, like she can be involved in a girl could be involved in the under 15 PDP and solely involved in that, but they might be under 16 trials. Yeah, but they're separate identities. So going for an under 16 trial means that it's trials, there's a selection, deselection. She's either good enough or deemed unsuccessful. But with the PDP, it's there just to improve and develop her and continue to. So if she doesn't make the under 16, she's still improving and developing, which is important, and keeping her involved in the game. So there's no selection or deselection. How do players get involved? That's essentially down to how the county runs it. So the more coaches counties have, the more players they can cater for. So in a county, they will link in and liaise with the clubs to inform the clubs of how they're running the PDP in their county, how many key players they can cater for. So, for example, in Cork, they have multi-regions, so they can cater for, as you said, they're 700, 800, 900 players, whatever, over number of regions. But in counties, it all depends on the number of coaches you have. So a lot of counties are very determined on the resources they have. A, the venue they have. B, the number of coaches they have. So that'll determine how many players can get involved. But the communication should be done with the clubs on how that process is applied and how many girls are allowed to participate. We'd like to keep that as open as possible, but it's very unrealistic to think that all 100 girls from a club can go into this. No, we got to be very mindful of the number of coaches involved, the number of venues involved. So, Louisa, what I'd say to you is link in with your county development committee and ask that question. Okay, my daughter or I am interested in getting involved in this. Well, what's the process? Anybody else, guys? What do you think of it? Chat function, give you 30 seconds. What's your thoughts on the program? Agree, disagree? Is it something that, maybe did you learn a bit more about it tonight? Is it something that you thought it was? Or maybe, now you've heard about it, it's something different. But Emily, I suppose really we hope that everybody enjoyed the webinar tonight. We hope that everyone took something from it and that you'd share the message and what we're trying to achieve. I suppose, Emily, tonight we just want to get it out to the wider public, really, isn't it?
Yes, 100%. Because we, as you said previously, that we do kind of focus on the development committee and the counties, but it'd be great that the more people know, the better. So definitely.
Yeah, the player pathway, Louise, is basically how you guide players, so how you develop players. So a player pathway is if I'm with a player and I'm with the under eights, well, what should we be doing technically, tactically, physically, and psychosocially with an under 8? Okay, well, what's that look like for under 14? And that there's a coherent approach to develop the player holistically. So the player pathway is about creating that pathway for players through the various age groups that we're improving development as they go along. But if you want to learn more about it, please get in contact with us. We'd love to share more material around that or answer any queries you have. Okay, everyone, so that's basically it. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed it. I think we've one more webinar left, Emily. As far as I know, I suppose knowing the rules of the game is the next one. So I think that's on later on in the month. So we'll send out a link to everyone tomorrow for that. We hope you're enjoying the LGFA Coach Education webinars. They're all available to view on the LGFA YouTube channel. I think there's about 50 or 60 webinars there now across loads of topics. So please, if you're on your own time, have a cup of tea and biscuits, and give a listen over that. Emily, thank you very much for tonight. And
No problem, thank you.
we look forward to seeing everybody again in the near future.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.